So you beat Baker Mayfield a year ago. So you got the blueprint?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's that part of it. They're a different ball club. Obviously, we're a different institution. You know, they're taking a lot of pride in running the football. I think a lot of people, you know, Baker gets a lot of credit, but they're big and they're physical up front. So, you know, obviously, it starts with that. You know, as much as everybody loves Baker's numbers, their backs run really, really hard and they're big up front. So that'll be the start of it. They're just very efficient right now. I mean, I don't know exactly what the number is. I thought I knew it's probably in the 8 yards of play range. So do the math. If you're running 70 or 80 plays, that's a lot of yards. So and they're being really efficient too.
Iowa State held them to 7 the second half.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I don't.
Offense had the ball.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. Sometimes you just get into games that way. That's the unique thing about this league. That's what I'm learning about. Every offense is explosive, and you know, if you're down 14 or down 17, just keep fighting because you never know what's going to happen. And that game just turned out the way it turned out, but they still, I mean, in my opinion, they still did a great job all the way through that game.
Were they rushing 3?
Well, they did it. They did at times,
yeah.
And then at times they came after them. So it was just momentum swung in that game, and it's just one of those deals where a couple plays here and there go a different way, and no different than us this year.
Does it help your prep that they're consistent with offense? I mean, Lincoln Riley's still in charge.
Yeah, it does. But they're saying the same thing about us too. So sure. It's and the thing that's kind of unique with this is we're very similar defensively than what they are too. So they see it every day. There's a lot of similarities in terms of what we run and what they run, and offensively there's some decent carryover for what they do and what we do. So it'll be interesting. Nobody's fooling anybody. I can tell you that part of it. It's going to come down to who's the most physical and who can execute the best.
They interchange their running backs a lot, don't
yeah,
they?
They do. Keep them fresh, but that's normal stuff. So if you go up tempo, I mean, that's the advantage offensively because, you know, for us, you know, you're normally your best guys are your best guys, and, you know, through good recruiting, you can roll some guys in there. But from a running back standpoint, if you go fast and get somebody tired and are able to bring in fast and powerful guys in every other play, boy, I tell you what, it's fresh legs out there versus a tired bunch. You can break a lot of tackles and make some explosive plays.
They like Sermon, number 4.
Yeah, Sermon. Yeah, Sermon's to me that kid's going to be just an absolute freak show when he gets older. I mean, not that he is not right now, but as a freshman that's doing some of the stuff that he's doing, I mean, golly, he's impressive.
What can you talk about Andrews, the tight end?
Yeah,
How they use him?
Yeah, but they're mainly using him split out, you know, and he creates some major matchup issues. So they put him out as a slot the majority of the time. He'll go down once in a while, but so if you want to go out and nickel, there's a matchup issue right there with a smaller guy, you know, matching up with him. And then when you want to play man-to-man, even a safety, you got to get a bigger body safety to be able to match up because it's not like you can't match his speed. It's just when the ball goes up, he's so big that it's hard to go up with him, and he can box you out too. So, you know, that's what is in the NFL now. So you got to go out and you got to recruit a bigger body nickel to be able to play against that stuff because they will move him on the outside and put the true like slot receiver inside of him. So it's a unique system, and he's a weapon the way that they're using him.
Todd, what did you learn about your defense after watching the film?
You know, some of the stuff I was a little bit disappointed on, just getting off of blocks, and you know, some of the QB run stuff I was disappointed in. Where I think there's at times that, especially inside, we ran underneath blocks. I didn't think we were real stout up front towards that. But the one thing I was proud of, you know, we had that stretch going into it where we finished the game. And I think I have to start to, you know, when you get into a league like this, and if you think you're going to blow everybody out and do all that stuff, these games, I'm thinking, you saw it. You know, every game is going to go down. It's like an NBA game. It's like there's so many swings in this thing, and then when it gets to the fourth quarter, it's crunch time. And that's where I thought we did a decent job of making some plays towards the end of the game to at least give ourselves a chance to win.
When you look back at the explosive plays you guys gave up in the pass game, is that stuff that's
schematical? Yeah, that's, to me, that's, you know, we're not devising defenses that let a guy go untouched for 80 yards. So that's a breakdown.
How's Brandon Jones evolved this season? Where is he?
I think from my standpoint, because of his speed, I'd like to see a little bit more out of him, but I also understand his youth and he didn't play a ton last year, so I'm reasonable with that. But he's a guy that we're counting on just because he has big speed. So where is he at? I'm happy with him. But even like any other coach would say, you probably want more. But I'm not at all. I mean, for putting him in where he wasn't a starter and letting him be in the starting role, I'm really happy with him.
Coach, through the first quarter of the season, are there guys that maybe have exceeded some of your expectations on that unit, and other guys you need to see a little bit more of?
I think Charles has. I mean, I don't know how much I expected Charles to do, and I think Charles is playing some really solid ball. You know, Chris Nelson's another guy. You know, Holton and Deshaun, I think, are guys there. You know, and even Malik has made his strides. I know we all thought what Malik was last year with it, but I think he's made some strides forward. So there are some guys, you know, we talked about him beforehand that we just need to see, like guys like Chris and Malcolm, that I'd like to see a little bit more just based on the stuff that I've seen in the past. I've seen Malcolm take over games before, and I've seen Chris be the lockdown guy that we all think he is. So there's a couple guys here and there that I want to see more out of.
You got some stuff saved up for this one?
What's that?
You got some stuff saved up for this game?
Well, we have a big package. So we have, you know, like 60-something calls in this package. So what we try to do is teach it all in the spring, and then it's kind of an encyclopedia. So we don't have to sit there and like, we're not going to go in a meeting room and just absolutely say, hey, this is a new something, and try to teach it to the kids. So everything that we call, they've at least repped or heard of. So when we go into it and say, hey, this would be really good, because most of the time it comes down to what you saw on film that they're struggling with. So it's like, oh man, they're struggling with that. We need to get that. That's the same as this call. So let's put this call in there. But that's the one thing that we're trying not to do. I think anytime you come into a new place, when you start to go into like crate land, that's the first sign to a kid that maybe you're starting to panic a little bit, or it's something that's like I told you guys beforehand, if we're in the shoe business and all of a sudden we start coming in with hats, you know, it's like, ooh, where are we going with this thing? So we try to be very mindful of that.
You mentioned Malik made some strides. Where has he grown the most from what you were maybe uncertain?
I just think it's the hardness standpoint. You know, there's I think he carries himself a different way. You know, I think beforehand, if he get banged up a little bit, he'd dip his head down and, you know, and he'd make sure everybody knew he was hurting. I think there's less of that, and it's where he's taking pride in the physicality part. You saw the one play he made on the one option. Those are like the 5%ers we talked about in here, where it's like, you know, that's great, you did it once. I need like 3 of those a game. You do that, then to me you're a difference maker to go along with doing your job at a high level. So those are the things that I've seen the most out of him, just the way he's carrying himself and the respect that he's starting to get with his teammates. I think his teammates look at him and go like, when he says something, because he's a very, very intelligent guy, and a lot of the stuff he says is like really, really good stuff in terms of leadership. But the first part you have to do is by action. You know, I'm gonna follow you, Malik, when I see you be physical, when you're going freaking reckless to the football. That will speak more than his words, and I think that's what he's starting to do. So when he's starting to talk now, people are like, okay, let's listen. So that's probably the biggest things that I've seen him improve at.
Is talking more coming on the field or in the meeting room?
Oh, all above.
Yeah.
All the above. So when he sees something that he doesn't like, whether it's on the practice field, in the meeting room, he's going to say something, and those kids will respond to it.
You mentioned Malcolm and his ability to take over games at times. Is his position as the only defensive lineman in that pass rush formation allowed? Is that
well, I don't think it's necessarily that, because that's collectively when we get out on third down, and we're doing a decent job on third down. It's not necessarily that. I think it's the first and second down stuff that I'd like to see him, because I saw it last year. I mean, everybody, there's the one thing you got to understand in that package on third down is that's its own system. So everybody's going to get their little piece. So it's not necessarily we're setting up this guy, it's the whole thing. So he will have a couple sacks in that. Some of the stuff that he is out there, he's just working to contain. But I'm talking about first and second down, where I've seen him come off the edge, sack quarterbacks. I've seen him disengage, make plays in the backfield. That's what we need to see a little bit more.
How much is his toe bothering?
It's not. It's not. That's to me. That's long over with. Now it's just gaining confidence and just producing more. I think sometimes we get into it where it's like, okay, I'm gonna stay in my gap, do my job, It's like, yeah, it's great, man. Let's get off a block and go hunt. You know what I mean? Let's go make a play. So that's what we just got to continue, and that will come with time. Trust me, I'm not disappointed in him at all. That guy's one of my dudes. The way I look at him, it's just my, just like a lot of people in here, you see like elite ability, and so you want more production. That's all it is with him.
How did Devontae grade? Devontae Davis.
Okay.
Todd, your run defense has gotten better. You're getting more pressure on the quarterback. But what's keeping you up at night about this group right now?
No, I don't know. It's the part of it is I just want us practice habits, being pros in meetings, understanding that it's not collectively like coming in here for the 2 hours a day and saying that's it. No, you can't be great. I just want our guys to feel like, think about all the stuff they've learned in their life. If they just did the allotted time to do that, they would never be great. So they've done things on their own, they've taken care of their bodies, and there's so much that goes into being great players. And that's, to me, coaching more than anything else. So if Malik thinks he can come in this building for the hour meeting that he has and the whatever 2 hours that he has out in the practice field and be a great one, then I think that's delusional. What he has to do is he has to understand, go down and get treatment, put on the film, do stuff that, not that he's not, I'm just bringing up it as an example, but I'd like to see collectively our group, especially the first 22 guys and the first and second team, do that at a high level. I think sometimes you get into it where it's like, hey, Orlando's going to give me all the answers to the test and we'll be fine. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? It's what you do collectively on your own, kind of behind the scenes when nobody knows, and then you find out like, man, that's a great play. How'd you know that? Well, I just watched tape.
So do you feel like your guys are at a point where they know the playbook, now it's just time to practice their craft?
Yeah,
so
I
to
do.
speak?
I do. And we're, like I said before, I'm very mindful about, going in there and saying, okay, here's 4 or 5 different things. Because, I mean, I'm realistic. We're not at our second year like we're at Houston where we can, we can be very, very multiple and kids understand exactly what we want. So we have to be mindful of that to get exactly, because there's so many fundamental technique, eye discipline stuff that's on the film right now. And if you start changing stuff, it'll get massively worse. We won't be able to get lined up, and we'll give them plays. That's the biggest thing I don't want us to do, is go out there, not know how to line up, and just here's 7 points, here's 14 points, here's 21, and then next thing you know, we got no chance of winning the ball game.
Are teams
Time
picking
for two
on
last ones.
PJ Locke at all?
What's that?
Are teams picking on PJ Locke?
I don't know if they're picking on him. I think teams are trying to run the ball at him. I do.
Yeah.
And PJ has to be a little bit stouter in terms of what he's doing. I wouldn't necessarily say picking on him.
Do you have to,
Last one?
pre-text this, you have to emphasize the importance of not letting Baker Mayfield extend plays?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started that, in the last couple of days where we would have 7-on-7 Skelly, and it would be like, hey, scramble around, scramble around again. Stay in your windows. All of a sudden he's going to run the ball. All of a sudden he's going to draw you up and throw the ball. Absolutely. I mean, that's what he does great. He keeps his head downfield. He can run and throw with the best of them. So he's a major issue to a lot of defenses.
Thank you, Coach.
You saving all your trick plays for this game?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Can't give all my secrets away.
Tim, is there anything you can take from your experience against the Oklahoma team last year and play for this game?
Just I think they're a different team, obviously, this year than last year. They're obviously more experienced. Grew up around Mike and Bob, I've known them my whole life. So they're well coached defensively. They're very athletic, physical team, very multiple this year. So it's going to be quite a challenge for our guys to go out there and execute at a really high level.
Coach, what was your evaluation of Ellinger's performance?
I thought Sam played well, better than well. I thought he played very well. He made a lot of plays. He played with a lot of passion. That's the one thing, a lot of juice. He brings that to the offense, and I really like that. And he's done that. He still has to fix a few things. I told him, I said, he played fast. That's the part I liked. He made a decision, he lived with it, whether it was right or wrong. He probably had some throws that he could have threw instead of running, but he played fast and he made plays. So I don't want to take that away from him. I want him to continue to do that, because when guys play hard, they put their foot in the ground, as Coach Herman says, and go really, really hard. Usually good things happen.
When he finishes a play by running over the defender, as an OC, do you like that? Do you cringe
Sure,
with?
absolutely, love that. Toughest guy on your team is going to be your quarterback, because that's the part of, that's the nature of your football team. And whether he likes it or any quarterback around the country likes it or not, they're the leader because it says QB next to their name. So when he could play like that and be a physical player and presence and play with a lot of juice and play really fast, usually the offense is probably doing the same.
Does any
what's
part
the
of you
last-
fear any just the physical ramifications of that at times, or no?
No, I'm good. He's a tough kid, and he's, I don't know, what is he, almost 230, 225 to 230. He's just
So
almost as
he's
big
the
as
guy,
Chris-
right?
Almost as big as Chris Warren.
So what's the balance you want? The young guys don't mind taking off and running a lot.
Mhm.
I'm sure there are times you might want him to sit tight another second and look one more.
Yeah, but
What's
like I
the
said,
what's the balance of that?
well, there isn't. I mean, you know, you could overcoach. I mean, that's one of the biggest things coaches do that's wrong is we overcoach. That's our job, and we think we got to critique every single play.
Right.
And I want him to play fast. That's what I want him to do. And my job is to continue to coach him. He's a young pup, and he's learning, and he's seeing multiple fronts and coverages and things for probably the first time in his life. So he is going to make some mistakes. I want him to protect the football, move the offense, and play really fast.
He leads a last-minute drive to take the lead against USC. He leads a 13-play drive to no points, a 12-play drive to the tying field goal. He's the guy, right?
Well, I mean, at this point, he's played really well. Again, I'm not down on Shane's play. I don't
Right.
think that Shane has played bad. I think right now Sam's the hot name. So I know all the media and fans and everybody feels that he's the guy. Our job is to win football games with the best guy out there. Whoever that is, week to week, day to day, game to game, is going to be the guy that whoever moves, that's what I always tell him, whoever moves the football is going to play.
Have you told him he's the starter?
We haven't said anything to anybody yet about what we're doing.
How do you feel about running backs this week?
You know, I like the guys. You know, I really do think that it's a running back by committee. There's strength that each one of those guys possess, but I think all of them can do everything. There's nobody that can't catch a pass, but some guys catch it better than others. All of them can block. Some guys block better than others. All of them can run inside zone. Some of them run it better than others. So, you know, our job as we continue to grow and see these guys, we try to put the best players in the best position at the best times for the best plays and continue to develop their weaknesses, so to speak, so they can play all the time. And that's kind of what we've been doing with them.
I asked Tom about the rotation that happens during the games.
Mhm.
Do y'all not believe in, okay, Tennille, this is your drive, and however it goes, or Chris, this is your drive?
Not
however it plays out?
necessarily, yeah. Like you know, we've talked in here many, many times. Stan Drayton is a great football coach, and I trust him. And he knows. He knows what his guys are good at and what they're not good at. He knows when they need a break, when they don't need a break. So, and he knows that group. He can look in their eyes and see, this guy's ready, this guy, maybe he's not, maybe he needs a play. So whoever he puts in there, I trust 100%.
But you had Okafor and Cooney and Kurt started with a second start. Tell me how you feel like that line did.
I thought they played really well, really well. I was really proud of the tackles. I thought for two young guys going out there was a bright spot. I thought Derek's been playing really well for us, and Denzel probably played his best game by far from you know, all things gathered. And you know, the inside guys have been pretty solid all year long. So that group's coming together. You know, just like we are on offense, we're starting to slowly come together. It's a young group, and we're continuing to improve. That's the goal. Just get better and play really hard and protect the football.
Did you think this guy's had it?
Time for a couple last ones?
You know, I do. Yeah, that's why they're here at the University of Texas. I mean, they're here. They're been coached. They're played. Derek, like I said, he gets his guys ready to play now, and they play really hard. And so, I mean, I got all the confidence in the world in that group up there.
If your center, if Cooney has to play center, it's your level of concern. He's kind of new and that crowd noise, freshman quarterback.
I'm not worried about it. He just played in double overtime. And last I looked, I think they were the #1 defense heading into the Big 12. So Yeah, pretty good.
Has Armani Foreman improved his practices?
Yeah, you know,
Get more time?
he's had a good week, as a lot of our guys have. You know, they starting to feel a little bit of good confidence and some good things are starting to happen. They're starting to see the fruits of their labor. You know, when I work hard, I play well. When I play well, I play more. When I play more and work hard, good things are happening. We win games and move the football. So there's a direct correlation between practicing hard, preparing hard, and having success. And that success also means more playing time. So I think some guys, you know, teaching the old dog new tricks, sometimes it takes a little longer for them. Young guys, it doesn't. And so I believe he's on the right track, and we love Armani. He just and I think he saw it and sees it, and he's attacking it right now.
How much confidence did your offense pick up against K-State?
I think a lot. You know, I think you know, I think the Iowa State was twofold. I do believe there was a part of the different defensive structure because we played hesitant. USC, you know, that last quarter and a half, we didn't play hesitant. You know, Kansas State, we didn't play hesitant. So you kind of ask yourself, okay, why? And the only thing you could think about at that time was maybe they just weren't sure what to do. Now, again, it wasn't awful. It was the penalties and turnovers and things like that. If we don't hurt ourselves, we could be pretty good. That's been the case all year, with hurting ourselves with penalties and turnovers, which, I mean, any coach will stand up here and tell you that.
Tim, what do you think needs to change for you guys to be more effective, more efficient in the red zone?
Yeah, you know, that's a good question. You know, I don't know. I think that maybe there was a couple different things took place. Everybody kind of has a little bit different package in the red zone, so you got to figure them out a little bit. Like once we figured out kind of what was going on there, we were a little more efficient down there. We probably need to do a better job. I need to do a better job of having an all-purpose plan maybe in place, as opposed to very specific. They're going to do this, and you get down there and they don't, and then you're like, now what? You know, where do you go? And then you draw stuff. You know, you go to the drawing board on the sideline, come up with a few things, and then you're able to, you know, be efficient from there for out. We were, but early on we weren't.
Are you redshirt in
Last
Westlake
one.
though?
I don't know. That's Coach Herman question.
The hell is he doing in practice? He
Good.
behind
He does
or-
good. No, he
Yeah.
does good. He does a good job.
Thanks, Coach.